Good afternoon. You're tuning into O&M Live Netball, kindly brought to you McRae Motors. I'm Rhiannon Harris, broadcasting today from Martin Park. The Wodonga Bulldogs are at home to the Albury Tigers, with the Bulldogs coming off their first win of the season last week. Dan Matthews, I can't believe we're nearly halfway through the season, round 8, golly.
It is. It's amazing, isn't it? And we've got quite a season on our hands, Ree. It's really shaping up to be an exciting back half of the year, I think.
Absolutely. And before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we broadcast from today, the Yorta people, paying our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extending this respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today and tuning into this broadcast at any stage. Very, very interesting. Bulldogs are a team, their first win last week, and Tigers narrowly edged out by the Raiders in that upset last weekend. Yeah, look,
it was great for Wodonga. They had all 5 teams win last week, which would have been a first this season for any club, given that Wodonga 15s are undefeated. So great for the club. I think moving forward gives them some real hope and something to, I think, work with and look forward to. Great to see, obviously, they had a youngster, Lily McKimmie, come on and have an impact in that game. So, again, looking forward, they've got some real strength coming through their grades. Albury edged out by Raiders and really needing to win today if they're to stay in touch.
Absolutely. The Wodonga Bulldogs casting an 11-goal win over the Rovers. Very evenly played out until half-time, with the Rovers having a 1-goal advantage at half-time. But a 17-goal third quarter from the Bulldogs is fantastic. Put them at a 7-goal lead going into the last quarter, and they maintained that. I did hear that Gracie Reid went down with an ankle injury in the late stages of that third quarter, so that would hurt the Rovers. But best players on the day, the shooting circle in Lisa French and Cassie Mathy and Lily McKimmie. Fantastic for the Bulldogs, and Molly Murray and Samantha Crelcham for the Rovers being in the best. And I think the Crelcham sisters there at the Rovers, they're trying, they're busting their guts to try and get as many goals, but you just wonder how much of the ball they're actually getting.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, they're fast and they have a great connection between each other, but as you said, they're height-wise, they're going to struggle against those tall shooters, and certainly any balls that don't sink, they're going to struggle to rebound. But speaking to some girls on Sunday, they said Lily McKimmie actually came on and really just changed that game. So that is outstanding. She's an Ovens and Murray 7 and an underrepresented player. We saw what she did for the Ovens and Murray in that interleague game. She was really strong, and she came on and by all reports, changed the game and almost won that for Wodonga. So I think that is so exciting, and I really would love to see her to come on today and have an impact too.
Myrtleford was probably went in the way that we were expecting. 42 goals over North Albury 27. Again, some evenly matched quarters, but an injury, a fairly severe injury to Em Brown in the late stages of that fourth quarter is really disappointing for her and for North Albury, and we hope that it's not too serious and she can rally herself and get back there. And I think having the week off this week will really help them. But Myrtleford kind of led from start to finish, and Rebecca Piazza putting up another 29 goals, and Sally Botter helping out with 13 there. It was great to see them back on a comprehensive win after that big loss to Yarrawonga.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought this game may have been a bit tighter, but I did see that North Albury were without Sophia Colhagen, so that would have really hurt them, particularly against that really strong defensive combination in Soph Hanrahan and Tina Way. Lily Kelly's really strong, but she's really going to need a second strong shooter there to really keep those two defenders occupied, and with Sophia out, that would have really hurt. And as you said, the injury to Em Brown, which was very late in the game, I understand. Good news, though, not an ACL, and so hopefully they'll have her back, in the coming weeks, because they'll really need her. But good news for them, they have picked up Grace Hay. She did take the court for them and played 3 quarters in their defensive end. So I think she'll be a great pickup for them in that defensive end. She brings great experience, some great height, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do.
One of the best rebounders in the league, I would say, and for someone that still is very, very youthful, that's a real strength to Grace's bow. So be interesting to see how that dynamic goes in the circle, and as always, it'll take a few rounds, but great for them. Raiders and Albury was probably, like the game that we broadcast, the match of the round. Again, 1 goal apiece at half time. They couldn't be split it at 3/4 time, and Raiders just got that advantage in the late stages of the last quarter. And I know Sky Hillier, the coach of Albury, was a little bit disappointed that they just didn't quite finish off. I know she sent us a message saying she was disappointed that they just didn't. They kind of a lapse in concentration caused a bit of a run for the Raiders, but. The Raiders, they've been so close the last few weeks. They were really happy to get that win.
Absolutely, and I think, credit to Albury, and I think to the way Lily Howe's playing. She forced Raiders to, again, utilise Eliza Mooney, and Raiders are in a really fortunate position where they have some really strong 17s players they can call on, Eliza Mooney being one of them, Mia Lavis obviously being the other, and they were forced to utilise Eliza in that situation. She came on, and they needed her strength to shut down Lily Howe. So, credit to Lily, she's playing some great netball. Raiders, fortunate for them, were able to utilise her, and she obviously had an impact on that game as well. So
I thought it was really interesting looking at the stats, the breakdown of goals between goal shooter, goal attack. Neither team made any changes in their circle. Taylor Donlan, 30 goals in goal shooter for the Raiders. Lily Howe, 30 goals in goal shooter for the Tigers. Emily Stewart, 18 goals out in goal attack, and that was the 4-goal difference because Sky Hillier put up 14. So really both teams are using both their players in that circle to their advantage. And I think Taylor Donlan is just ever going from strength to strength, and I think she's one to look out for, particularly as the second half of this season unfolds.
Yeah, for sure. And I think week after week coming up against these strong defenders is just going to continue to hold her in good stead as that in the back half of the season, and particularly if they have some pressure games where they're having to get over the line and some of these tight games that they have to win. If it does come down to them needing to win games to hold on to that 5th spot, these pressure games are going to hold her in good stead.
Talking about the credit to the defence, I think that's what won Lavington last week's match of the round, 50-46. Their defensive pressure across the court, but particularly in that defensive circle, made it really, really hard for very experienced shooters to get the ball into the ring.
Yeah, Sarah Meredith and Taylor February were just outstanding. The way they just sat off the goal shooters for Wangaratta, and Wangaratta had some great shooters at their disposal. Amanda Umansky was excellent in her first quarter. I think it may have been slightly different had she been able to play more quarters, because I thought she was really good in her first quarter, but we know that she's coming back from that injury and she was limited in the amount of game time she could play. But nevertheless, credit to the Lavington defenders. They were able to switch up regardless of who they were playing on. Just sat off the body, hedge the space, confuse the feeders, and really force Wangaratta's feeders to do a lot of work off the circle and around the transverse line before they could get the ball in, and they got some great hands to balls. And I think the work that they had done during the week with Julie Holmweg really showed, and it was a great game.
And I thought the combination of Christina Gucci and Liv Sanson in the attacking end for Lavington is just going from strength to strength. I think at times they're still trying to work out the feed to Christine, their centre and wing attack, whoever that is, but I think it was better than the last time we saw them, which those things take time as well. But credit to Liv and Christine. They're really finding that balance and finding when to pop the ball in and when for Liv to sweep front. So I think that's going to be a formidable outfit as the season continues.
Yeah, look, I think that's their best combination. And so I think they really have to persist with that. They have to give Liv court time and time to get used to that combination rather than switching her out of there, because I think it's not going to improve with her sitting on the bench. Leave her out there, give that combination time to work. And because I think the thing they did better on the weekend was they just released the ball to Christine a lot quicker, particularly if there's a height mismatch. And when she was on Katie Dean and even Brooke Price, she's going to be height mismatched with most defenders in the league. So turn and release that ball really quickly while defenders' eyes are down, and before the wing defence or the centre has hands over the player. And it's going to be on, 9 times out of 10, provided the player is balanced and that pass is a good one. So I think they did that a lot better on the weekend.
On to today's team cards. Wodonga, coached by Bianca Mann, will start with Lisa French in goal shooter, Cassie Mathy in goal attack, Maddie Nation in wing attack, Alicia Coyle through the centre, Ellie Ainsworth in wing defence, Leah Mathy coming off a few weeks on the sideline due to injury, which is fantastic, in goal defence, and Ella Dickens in goalkeeper, with Asher Jones, Lily McKimmie, Zoe Lawson and Ruby Martin on the interchange. I've just seen Ruby Martin play a really beautiful game in goal shooter for the Wodonga B grade, which is fantastic. And as we can see them warming up, a great thing is to have that experience of Leah Mathy coming back into their defence end.
Absolutely, and just provide a steady head down there and that experience, and particularly the drive down the court. That's something I think that she does really well. When they do get a turnover, she provides some great direction through that mid-court, and I think they'll really look to that today.
I was really impressed the last time we watched the Bulldogs with Maddie Nation, a new player to the league in this season, and she was really explosive off the line. Interesting that they've opted to start Ellie Ainsworth and Alicia Coyle in centre and wing defence in the pairing. We're used to seeing it the other way around, but it'll be really interesting, and that might be a bit of a play by Bianca to try and shut down Gretel Schroeder in that wing attack position for the Tigers. As we look to the Albury Tigers team sheet, coached by Sky Hillier, goal shooter Lily Howe, goal attack Sky Hillier, wing attack Gretel Schroeder, centre Gabe McRae, wing defence Heidi Fisher, in goal defence Neve Thorne, and in goalkeeper Brigitte Singy. In the interchange, Claudia Hocking, Alice Carroll, Kajana McCowan and Alira McCowan. A lot of experience on court and a really, really youthful bench that the Tigers have gone with.
It is. It's a tale of two stories, isn't it? But that's really exciting, and I think Albury need to continue to do that. We've got Lily Howe out there, obviously, who's an up-and-comer, and there was a great article on her during the week, and looking like they will probably lose her to university next year. So it's great to see that the young ones, the McCowans, Claudia Hocking, these kids are getting the opportunity because they're going to need to look to them. The matchup for me, Alicia Coyle and Gabe McRae, and I wonder if that's another reason Bianca has gone with Alicia in the centre, because those two are going to be very similar, both very fast, very athletic, and I think that's going to be a great matchup to watch. And both, like I said, phenomenal speed. So it's going to be the player that is smart enough to, I think, change up the pace and throw in a change of pace in some of those drives that they're putting on each other.
One of the matchups for me will be Brigitte Singy and Lisa French in the circle. There'll be lots of arms and legs in there, and we know that one of Brigitte's strengths is really taking the space and coming out for a few of those balls and confusing where the space is for the shooter. So that will be really interesting. I'm tipping Albury, but I think it could be a lot closer than probably maybe a few rounds ago we would have liked to see. And I particularly think if they can get the feed into Lily Howe early and she can pop up those shots, I think they might win. But I'm going a 7-goal buffer. Yeah,
look, I think Albury will too, and I think it'll be around that 10 goals. But I think Wodonga, if they can stick with them, they can really make a game of this. I think the challenge will be not to get stuck dropping back 2-on-1 onto Lily. I think they really need to pay Sky Hillier plenty of attention and not allow her to set up that play too much, because she will be happy to sit out, play that feeding role and work the ball exactly to where she wants it, and that's dangerous.
And she can nail a long bomb too. So, which will be great to see. We were just having a look at the hot shots before we started this morning, and Taylor Donlan's currently leading the hot shots above Christina Gucci. Interesting, both players shooting well over the 80% mark, and Lily Howe in third and Sky Hillier in fourth, all over the 80%. So that's what clubs want.
Yeah, I would say this is one of the years where we've seen I'm not sure we've had a year where we've had that number of players shoot at that high percentage. Probably other years we've had one or two around that 80%, but I can't remember a year we've had that many at that higher percent. So I think that is fantastic to see, and there's a great spread across the grades there too. So it certainly makes for a fantastic back half, and I think it's probably reflective of the season in that it is really close. I think Yarrawonga probably have put a buffer between themselves and the rest of the comp, but I think Lavington's win over Wangaratta last week showed us that they are certainly still within range of a grand final position. They put the competition on notice with that win. Wangaratta showed they've probably still got some work to do with some of their positionings. We know Myrtleford have still got their best to come, and I think today's game will really show us where they're at. They will really be wanting to get a win over to set themselves up, to really prove, I guess, to themselves more than anyone that actually they are a top 3 contender. And then you've got Raiders, who are really knocking on the door and taking it up to every side that they come up against, regardless of who it is. So I think we're in for a really exciting second half, and it's a really tight season. And then you've got teams who are sitting outside that top 5, and North Albury and Albury, who again are taking it up to the top 5 side. So it's going to be exciting.
As we await the first centre pass here at Martin Park, the Wodonga Bulldogs hosting the Albury Tigers. It will be a Tigers centre, Wodonga Bulldogs centre, to start. Alicia Coyle in the centre. Our first quarter action thanks to Cavalier Homes. First whistle is blown and the centre pass goes to Maddie Nation. She gives off to Ainsworth. Singy already down in back play in the circle, leaves French alone for the Bulldogs' first goal of this first quarter. Gabe McRae in the centre for the Tigers, taking her first centre pass. A great release at the centre pass there for Schroeder.
And great hands over by Wodonga, but unfortunately called up for obstruction. But certainly defensive pressure early on was high.
And the ball trickling in to Howe. First goal on the board for the Tigers. One apiece here on the 777 Automotive scoreboard. Shout out to Phil Boulevant. Probably watching from home. I haven't seen him here yet today.
I did see him tagged. I think he's down Geelong way watching Kelsey play today. So
Keely just played in the B grade for the Tigers as Cassie Mathy nets her first goal for the Bulldogs. 2 goals the lead here to the Bulldogs, leading the Tigers 1.
So Hillier off the line, has to go cross court to Schroeder, and a great pass and drive finds McRae at the top of the circle, but a held ball called. So defensive pressure on Wodonga is really high and they're forced an early turnover.
Leah Mathy has not given Sky Hillier a centimetre of space yet down in that attack end as Coyle, she manages to give one off, and it was quite a good pass considering how off balance she was, and well done for French to have her eyes up and get that. The contact call in favour of the Bulldogs, the high ball into French. Obstruction from Thorne and a goal from the Bulldogs. A 2-goal lead, 3 goals to 1 here on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
And Coyle getting some nice depth on that second phase drive for Wodonga deep into the pocket. But an obstruction call, and they get a second opportunity over the back to French, but it's too big. And Mathy with a nice pop forward. She takes the long bomb and beautiful shot early. So eye is certainly in, and Wodonga move to a 4-goal-to-1 lead here on the 777 Automotive scoreboard. Aubrey take the centre pass, and it's Hillier off the line.
Great second phase from McRae, and that was really, really awkward.
That didn't look good, but
footwork call, but she's up. That's great. Great to see. Ainsworth in wing defence gives off to Mathy. Back to Ainsworth. And a touch from Schroeder. A little bit flat there were the Bulldogs players driving onto that ball. Ball just being retrieved on the far side of the court. Ainsworth in wing defence. Gives off to Coyle. Again off balance and manages to get the pass off, this time in favour of the Tigers is the trickling
So
ball.
it might just be a bit of a timing issue there that she's getting caught off balance.
Transition pass went to go, but they'll need a little bit more height on it with Mathy with the long arms through that mid-court as well. Sky Hillier and Mathy hustling over that ball, and the pass precision into Howe, and both a great goal from her.
Corryong locals, actually. Well, ex-Corryong locals, but... I
wonder if they would have played against each other out there, surely. Corryong take on Kajua.
Yeah.
Oh, great contest, and both centres are on the court, and the ball got my first touch of the season.
Yeah, well done, Ray. It was a nice touch too. I don't know if you'll get votes for that one. As Coyle finds French, she's positioning in that front space, steps on and delivers a nice little pass to Mathy, who puts up a beautiful goal. So Wodonga looking nice and composed at this stage of the game as McRae takes the ball for Aubrey. Hillier's off the line. She has to go sideways to McRae. So Wodonga's pressure over this second phase has been outstanding so far. Schroeder hands over and delivers a great ball to Lily Howe. Pinpoint pass. And she makes no mistake. So Aubrey moved to 3, trailing Wodonga 5.
Oh, great release there from Coyle and Nation. Just that 1 second release off the centre pass. Fisher out of play. Nation on circle edge, and a great drive from Mathy using the baseline, just getting that space in front of Thorne. Takes the Bulldogs out to a 3-goal lead, 6 goals to 3 here in this first quarter, thanks to Cavalier Homes. McRae off to Schroeder. She's looking, but again, the defensive pressure of Bulldogs is just confusing the space, and a few players standing still.
And forcing Aubrey to go wide, aren't they? So that one's gone out, but it's an Aubrey throw-in. It was off the hands of Wodonga. So McRae onto circle edge. Out to Hillier.
Hillier really asking for that ball and holding on strong. Ball pass goes up to Howe.
She's off balance, but she gets it back out to Schroeder and receives it on the baseline. So nice movement by Lily Howe to steady and get that goal in. So Albury moved to 4, trailing Wodonga 6 on the 777 automotive scoreboard. First quarter action brought to you by Cavalier Homes.
Very lucky for Nation then. She really flirted with the transverse line for the centre pass, just landing in, and there's an obstruction call. Gets the hands of Heidi Fisher out of the way. Ball into French, and a great goal from her. 7 goals to 4 here. The lead in favour of the Bulldogs. McRae off to Hillier. Better second phase there from the Tigers, finding the space in front of Schroeder, and she drops it into Howe. Dickens had a good look at it, but not quite enough in the jump from her.
So Nation off the line. Bullet pass to Mathian, almost too hard, and she couldn't pull it in. So Albury would pick up the scraps. Goes long to Hillier. Back to Fisher, and they're struggling to get it forward. But a contact call. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, a contact call on Howe. So it'll be a Bulldogs pass deep in their defensive line, and they move it forward, finding some nice space through that midcourt.
Really are, Wodonga. And the timing, Alicia Coyle and Maddie Nation are really finding each other. Footwork call, no, a contact call first. Brigitte Singy taking a deep breath there. She thought she had the edge, but Coyle will bring this ball in for the Bulldogs. Mathy goes to French, actually to Nation. It goes into French. Both defenders having a stab, but in the favour of French, and she puts the shot in. So a 3-goal lead here. 8 goals to 5 on the 777 automotive scoreboard.
That's better play by Albury. One off the line and the second one setting up for that second phase drive. But Wodonga causing the turnovers, and you can see great timing on their drives through that midcourt.
Singy coming through, read that like a book, and Fisher just couldn't quite keep a hold of it, but it was an obstruction call first, and Singy wants to get it back underway straight away, playing that ball. Thorne off to Schroeder, into Hillier. Cross court, cross circle to McRae. High ball into Howe. Great attempt by Ella Dickens. Really timed that one. Just
short of it, wasn't she? As Hillier pops it over to Howe, and she makes no mistake. So Albury just staying in touch, trailing by 2 here. 6 goals, trails 8.
Mathy holds on to it that extra second in this instance. Coyle looking at the circle. And Mathy with a long shot, a beautiful shot from her. 9 goals to 6 here on the 777 automotive scoreboard. McRae off to Schroeder, and Ainsworth coming over with the contact. So both wing defences will line up against each other. Fisher to Schroeder. High ball and a great screen there from Hillier. Had both defenders on her, leaving Lily Howe.
Great vision by Schroeder. Yeah, to see that.
It's one of those ones from training that there's a real training drill, and when it comes off, it looks so great.
So Wodonga forced to go sideways, but Mathy is out. She's forced to go back to Mathy. Coyle finds French coming out. Nation hits the circle edge, and a great drive by French back into the circle. Pinpoint pass by Nation finds her, and Wodonga put another one on.
Bear Tigers centre pass here. The hands of McRae. Steps in the circle, gives off to Schroeder. Howe coming out of the circle, using the top of the circle. Schroeder in the pocket, and Lily Howe, great movement from her, coming for that pass over, and a quick goal from the Tigers. 2 goals, the lead here to the Bulldogs. 10 goals, 8 in this first quarter, thanks to Cavalier Homes. We've already played half of the time, and Thorne a hand on that ball into Mathy, but not enough. Bulldogs a quick reply, 11 goals to 8 here.
Schroeder off the line, back to Fisher. Schroeder again going sideways to Thorne before they find Hillier. She finds McRae, and then they go over to Howe. So just having to work around Albury before that option opens up.
Great goal from Lily Howe. Nella Dickens really trying hard, and that was great because she went up for that ball but didn't get the contact on the land, so she was able to stay in play and put the defence pressure over the ball.
Yeah, it's so important.
Nation in wing attack, high ball into French, and pinpoint accuracy at the other end. So 12 goals to 9 here, the Bulldogs leading in this first quarter thanks to Cavalier Homes.
And a good contest off the line there between Schroeder and Ainsworth. It's quite a good match up there, but Schroeder comes up with the goods, so She has the ball on circle edge, has to go to the pocket to McRae and the quick refeed to Hillier. But Matey with the tip is forced to throw in for Albury.
Oh, Dickens. She read that well and she came through, just couldn't quite nab that in the high ball to Howe instead. Great shooting from both ends of the court at the moment, as Coyle in centre gives off to Matey, to Nation. Obstruction call first, and the Tigers won't want their goal defence too high up, getting caught out of play. Oh, Singy comes out again, but just half a second too late, and it'll be the contact call first, sees her standing out of play. Matey at the top of the circle, stepping in, will opt for the shot. And just that hesitation, I think, may have caused that miss. And Hillier and the Tigers
and
back
a great
on
drive
the run
by Thorne there. Really great outlet pass, and then nice give and go down the court by her. Allows Aubrey to have it on circle edge within a few passes, and Howe has it over the back, takes a shot, but it falls short. She's
first
able to
misses
rebound
at both ends from goalers in Howe and Matey, and Howe is able to finish that one off for the Tigers. So 1 goal the margin here, 12 goals plays 11. High ball from Hillier into Howe. That's a 2-pass centre pass. And not quite the finish, but a great rebound from Howe. And now she connects. We are even, 12 goals apiece here on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
Yeah, and Dickens just caught twice there with her back to the ball and eyes down, and Aubrey recognised that early and just caught her off guard a little bit as Wodonga attempt to go forward. So Coyle with ball on circle edge finds French in the front position, but not within range. She swings it round the circle and opens it up before receiving it within shooting range. Doesn't drop though.
Lisa French's first miss for the game, and that was a really great hands over from Thorne.
Yeah, she's
Fisher
starting to find her range
to Hillier. Matey down in play. McRae just in front of Coyle. It's been a real tussle, and the high ball goes in while eyes are down. It's brought back to the obstruction call outside the circle. Now asking for the high ball, and Matey coming through.
Great intercept there. And Coyle
Bulldogs on the transition. Great work from them. 3 passes, and they're in their attacking circle. Singy coming through with the tip in front of French. Throwing in the way of the Bulldogs. Matey in goal attack. Stepping up to the line. Out to Coyle at the top of the circle. Back to Matey. Nation looking for the swing, and Thorne coming around picks up the scrap. So the Tigers, and we've got 2 players down in back play. The defensive pressure all over the court. Howe to Schroeder into Howe.
And Schroeder's showing a great little connection here with Howe. She delivered some beautiful passes to her so far as McRae takes the ball for Aubrey. Off to Hillier. She has to go back to Fisher.
Hillier looking in to Schroeder, takes the front position in front of Matey, opts for the refeed, and there's arms everywhere, and the ball in favour of the Bulldogs. Dickens, as McRae's doing her hair up, but she's running.
She's doing a Maddie Allen.
I just don't know how in centre you've got time to do that. She did that very gracefully.
Most people wouldn't. Most people wouldn't be able to run and do the hair at the same time, I don't think.
I'd end up on the ground.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't end well.
Matey, the offside call, and a long bomb nearly makes it. French with the rebound for the Bulldogs. We are back to even, 13 goals apiece here. About a minute and a half left in this first quarter. Matey gives off to Nation, to Coyle. Feed goes into French. Singy stays in play this time and just falls short. So transition for the Tigers. They've opted to go back. Wodonga, and they're high in their attacking third. Great drive from McRae there.
So Wodonga just holding it up a little bit more this time. Aubrey, the last few transitions has been quite quick, but Wodonga just...
well stopped and propped there from McRae. Saw that Coyle had gone in front of her and just asked for the ball in that back space as it goes into Howe. She nets another one. So the Tigers with the 1 goal advantage here. 14 plays 13 on the 777 automotive scoreboard. Hillier to Schroeder. Great defence there from Matey, but it left Hillier alone, and she calls for that ball, and a great goal from her. So the Tigers now 2-goal buffer here. 15 plays 13.
So Coyle to Matey off the line and goes back to Matey, and they just look to reset. Coyle coming through with a strong drive, but they opt to go sideways. Hands over pressure from Albury, good, and before they find French under the post. Great defensive pressure there by Singy. Forces the ball to come out. So Albury with the turnover. So a couple of late goals here for Albury.
Better transition there. Thorne was well on her way into that third and had the advantage as Coyle coming through gets a hand to that ball. Tigers throwing in their attacking third as the siren rings for quarter time. The score being 15 the visitors' way, leading the Bulldogs 13. This is O&M Live Netball, and on O&M Live you won't miss a thing.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol?
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onwards, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between. Manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Welcome back to O&M Live Netball Round 8 coverage at Martin Park. The visitors in the Albury Tigers, a 2-goal advantage here going into this second quarter over the Bulldogs, 15-13. High scoring first quarter from both teams, particularly with the defensive pressure, and Tigers get us underway. Quick play to the pocket to McRae into Howe, and a beautiful goal from Lily Howe to start this second quarter. 16 plays 13 here on the McRae Motors scoreboard.
And no change from either side as the ball's sent back to the umpies, and I wonder if I'd say they're
bit of time, something
it's
on
gone
the
a bit
ball.
flat, not pumped up enough. Might have gone flat. I know they've.
While we're having this time, we had a look at the scores at quarter time. The Wangaratta Magpies with the 1 goal advantage over Myrtleford at quarter time. Lavington with the 3 goal advantage over the Raiders, and Yarrawonga 7 goals the lead there to the Rovers. So we will keep you posted with the scores as they continue. I think Wang and Myrtleford for mind is another match of the round.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm expecting that to be a tight one, and I think Lavington and Wodonga Raiders could potentially be another tight one too. So just great to see that every week we've got 2 or 3 games that are really close and could go either way. So
the ball continues to be fiddled with here and fixed, and the players taking a few extra breaths and enjoying it. And the under-17s qualified for the association champs.
Yeah, they did in what was atrocious conditions. It was like an episode of Survivor. I think it was going to be a case of last man standing, the survival of the fittest. But they did. It was a very big day. Look, it rained continuously all the way through till about 3 o'clock, and they had 8 games and 2 byes, but finished top of the pool before finals. Had a great semi against Murray to qualify for the grand final, which is all you need to do. Top 2 teams go through to Melbourne, and didn't have a great final. Came up against a very slick Goulburn Valley side who trumped us big time in the final. But look, you know what? As I said, the work had been done to get to the final, and we qualified. So pretty happy with that. Go to Melbourne on the 18th of June, and hopefully putting a pretty good show down there.
Absolutely, as we did get underway, and Fisher started off with an intercept for the Tigers off the Bulldogs centre pass, but the ball still wet, I think, is the concern. It's been given another dry, so Fisher for the Tigers in wing defence will get us underway. Schroeder to Hillier, and the high ball going over the hands of everyone. Howe just taking a second there to regroup and pops it in. So the score reads 17-13 here on the McRae Motors scoreboard. Hillier looking sideways to Fisher. High ball from Fisher into Howe. Beautiful. Great feed there from the wing defence. Great connection to Howe.
And doesn't a defender love that? They love a feed from the transfers to a shooter. As
coaches don't love them so much
when they come off it. It's okay. As Wodonga try and go forward, Coyle to Nation. She finds French in that front position at the top of the circle. Not within range, so they refeed and finds Cassie Mathy under the post for a nice quick goal. So Wodonga moved to 14, trailing Albury 18 in this second quarter.
Schroeder doing 4 dodges there to get the advantage over Ainsworth. Hillier, a little layup pass into Howe. The shot's short, but she takes her own rebound and puts it up again. So 5 goals the buffer here in favour of the Tigers, 19-14. Second quarter action thanks to Cavalier Holmes.
So Wodonga looking to go forward again, and again there's that contest between Coyle and McRae. So well matched for speed. There's just absolutely nothing in it. So Coyle comes up with it this time, a contact call on McRae. She goes to Mathy, the quick refeed, and then the little pop over to French. She takes the shot and it's off. And the tip from Singy to Thorne, but it's a throw-in to Albury. So the quick outlet to Thorne, and hands over from Cassie Mathy, gets the tip and is rewarded. But likewise, Artie Fisher. So both teams with defensive pressure, and Albury look to transition it quickly, but the umpire says, no, thank you, you can bring it back. And Singy will take the ball for Albury.
Fisher a little bit disappointed there just because she wanted to get that underway. High ball, a little bit too much on it in this instance. So the Bulldogs with the opportunity on the baseline. Dickens gives off to Mathy, to Ainsworth, to Coyle coming through that centre channel. To the channel closest to us, Nation to Ainsworth. Great ball from Ainsworth to Coyle in the circle, and keeps Brigida Singy coming through with the touch through the pocket, and Thorne to Hillier, and they opt for the reset back to Thorne. Schroeder. I love how Schroeder brings that ball up nice and high. She's ready for that high release because she is a little bit shorter. So when that hand's over pressure, it's great to see. And the Tigers notch another one. They're out to 6 goals the lead here. 20 plays 14 second quarter action thanks to Cavalier Holmes.
And Schroeder again finds Howe. Nice pass into that space. Can't sink it, but is able to rebound her own ball, and we'll get another shot here. and makes no mistake. So Albury moved to 21, leading the Bulldogs 14 on the Macrae Motors scoreboard as Wodonga take the pass. Nation quickly off the line, finds Mathy at the top of the circle, looks for a quick one back, but Fisher gets the tip and Singy mops up. So Albury again moving it forward fairly quickly here through Fisher.
And we just would like to make sure that the Bulldogs stay in touch here and they don't let this gap get too wide as Hillier misses one there, but Howe again ever reliable under that ring with the rebound, and they are now out to an 8-goal lead. 22 plays 14. Macrae to Schroeder. She's been good off the line. Ainsworth out of play, just a little bit too close. Fisher to Schroeder at the top of the circle, but just not enough on it. And Leah Mathy getting her hands to it, but just can't get two hands to it. So instead it's the Tigers throw-in right next to the post for Hillier. Bounce pass in, steps in and trickles through, but Howe again for the rebound for the Tigers and another goal for Howe. So they're really connecting well, Hillier and Howe in that circle.
Yeah, so Coyle,
Singy coming
through. Made by the umpire, so she'll be able to play, and it'll be a 2-on-1 in the circle as Nation goes to Mathy. She takes a long shot and a great hands over by Singy coming in, forces the ball out. But
Thorne with the tip on the rebound. So it's a Bulldogs throw-in. Mathy again. French holding strong in that circle. She's asking for it. And again, Singy coming through around the back space, but not quite in front enough to gain possession. Instead, the contact call. French lines up. And her goal is short too, but Mathy a really strong rebound there. Contested and notches one back. So the score remains an 8-goal lead. Umpire
just checking for blood, I think.
On Thorne.
And he's going to send her to the bench to have that rectified, I think. So there'll be a blood. So Thorne will actually have to leave the court here and have that tended to. And play will have to resume. So they can either leave her off or they can replace her.
And they look to Kajana McCowan putting on the goal defence.
And they're just going to leave that position vacant, fix up the blood, and she will come on at the next stoppage or the next centre pass. So Macrae finds Howe over the back and she scores a quick one for Albury. So Tigers move to 24, leading the Bulldogs 15. So we've got a 2-on-1 here as Albury have a player off the court.
And clever work from Fisher there. She really picked up Mathy and made it hard for her to get in the circle, to keep it as a 1-on-1 in the circle. But French finds the space and Bulldogs netting another goal. The lead to the Tigers is still 8 goals. Great drive there from Macrae. Great defence from Coyle. She really didn't give her too much space. And Howe just doing a little shuffle to find the space in at the baseline. And another goal from Lily Howe. Coyle with the centre pass for the Bulldogs to Mathy. And Fisher went to go for the hands up. Quick ball movement from the Bulldogs. French juggles it in.
And it's not as easy as you think, the 2-on-1, because I think you just can leave you unsure of where that one player is going to go. You sort of think, oh, we've got 2-on-1, it'll be okay. But you can sometimes be caught second-guessing as Neve Thorne enters the court again for Albury. So we're back to 7-on-7 here as Albury take the centre pass. Schroeder with the ball on the line, but it's going to go to Fisher. There's a penalty called in the goal circle, in the goal third. So Schroeder, quick reset pass into Sky Hillier. She'll take the shot and scores to the Tigers. So Tigers move to 26, leading Wodonga 17. So they're extending that lead nicely.
Mathy in goal attack for the Bulldogs. I don't know.
Raffled that.
It ended up in their possession and still is. The shot from Lisa French is good. So 26 plays 18 here on the Macrae Motors scoreboard. About 7.5 minutes, just over 7 minutes played in this second quarter. Ainsworth trying really hard to nudge out Schroeder, but she's just got the advantage on the drive. Howe presenting in that final second. Howe holding strong for the drive of Hillier to come through. Sweeping in that back space. A longer shot from Hillier. And it just trickles in. 27 plays 18 here. Coyle with the centre to Nation. Great second phase there from Mathy. She had the front position, but was a little bit off balance to give that ball into French, who was on the wrong side of Singy, who had really positioned herself well in defence. So Macrae and Singy teaming up again to Thorne. Coming through is McRae.
Oh, and
Over
big
a
drive,
third.
but too big, and over a third chord. So Wodonga with the opportunity to get it back here. And the umpire has found a contact call or instruction call on Schroeder. So Ainsworth finds Nation, and another call against Fisher here. So Nation to Matey, looking to work it in. She finds French, but again, just on the wrong side of the defender there, French. She needs to probably work into that front position, use her body to protect the space. So Matey in the front space, but they elect to go over to French, and she puts the goal in for Wodonga. So they move to 19, trailing Albury Tigers 27. Here, second quarter action brought to you by Cavalier Homes.
It's the feed, the long feed into Howe again. She turns, steps in, and Hillier manages to get there for the rebound, netting another goal for the Tigers, 28-19. First quarter best players, Tam. It was really hard to split, but I actually think the goal is at both ends for mine. Everyone putting up a mountain of goals, and until I think I put the commentator's curse on them, no one had missed a goal. So both Lily Howe and Lisa French were probably my best.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they certainly had great first quarters. As you said, accuracy was high, and just positioning and their movement in that goal circle. And I think this quarter we've seen the defenders start to come into play a little bit more. Brigitte Singh this quarter has been outstanding, I think, for the Tigers.
Coyle just disrupting the play there of McRae. She thought she had it in her hands, but a tip had gotten to it. As French looks again for the passage out, Nation and Matey a double play, and that's better release from Nation into French. Hands over from Thorne. Isn't enough as Lisa French, a good goal from her. 28 plays 20 here as Coyle for the Bulldogs calls time. We'll just see Zoe Lawson taking the court in centre for the Bulldogs. It'll be a Tigers centre pass to come. Gabe McRae getting us underway. Schroeder gives off to Hillier. Double play to Schroeder. Hitting top of the circle is Gabe McRae. Hillier on her own calling for it, but it still goes into Lily Howe. This timing of the Tigers, great base drive there from coach Sky Hillier in goal attack. Great goal from her. 29 plays 20 here on the McRae Motors scoreboard into the last 5 minutes of this second quarter. French coming out in goal shooter. McRae trying to get a hand on it. And the contact sees Neve Thorne out of play. Matey short, reefing off the front. The hands of the Tigers. The touch will give Bulldogs the throw in. Cassie Matey, goal attack off to Nation. Great drive there.
Yeah, great give and go there by Matey into that space. Makes no mistake. So Bulldogs just staying in touch. 21, trail Albury 29 as Tigers take centre. McRae coming through for the ball. Goes to Schroeder. They're happy to work it around. Hilliard's out of the circle before McRae finds Howe over the back with a nice pass. And she makes no mistake for the Tigers. So Albury just chipping away. Yeah.
Fisher, great attempt from her. And McRae fading hands over pressure on the ball there causes the turnover. But Bulldogs controlling this feed into French is Nation, and French another great goal from her. And great to see Lisa French, B-grade hot shot winner for Cora Rutherglen last year. Obviously, Cora Rutherglen not contesting in A or B grade this year. So great to see her finding a club to play with and actually, playing a really, really instrumental role in their shooting circle.
Yeah, and best and fairest winner for the league.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So, certainly stepping up and having to contend with the best defenders in A grade every week.
Feed from Maddie Nation there. I think she willed that ball
I was going to say,
as well.
we see Cassie Matey take a great ball under the post there, nearly take herself out on the post. So Zoe Lawson finds Matey off the line. Nation looks to go over to Lawson, but that's dangerous. Singy came out hunting there and gets the turnover for Tigers. So Fisher with a great ball to Thorne deep in that centre third. Schroeder goes to McRae in the pocket, and they look to go over to Howe. So I'll be interested to see whether Wodonga look to change up their defensive circle.
They've got Ruby Martin into goalkeeper a couple of times.
Just for
I've
a little
noticed,
bit of
or
a
Asher Jones, she's got that great height and elevation in there as well.
Just for a little bit more of a height, because they're just getting the ball over the top to Lily Howe just a little bit easily at the moment.
There you can see really hedging the space this time, trying not to get stuck on Howe's body so much, trying to confuse the space. But Howe, she just doesn't look concerned at all. Very cool, calm and collected is Lily Howe. And when you goal attacking the Sky Hillier shoots like that, you can be very cool, calm and collected.
That's right.
32 plays 23 here on the McRae Motors scoreboard. Less than 2 minutes in this second quarter. Nation to Mathy to French, just finds the baseline. So Tigers, Brigida Singy, you can goalkeeper, get play underway again. And Thorne driving through that circle, gives off to Singy.
Great
Transition
release.
ball, great release, and just a little
big.
bit too much on that. Ainsworth in wing defence. She's kept Gretel Schroeder a lot quieter in this quarter. I think she's really tried to stay in play rather than being pulled out and just come off the body a little bit and confuse the space.
Yeah, I think she's probably been Wodonga's best, their best this quarter, and has had much more of an impact on Schroeder. As we see, Nation looks to go over to French, but the umpire's found a penalty against Thorne, and Matthew will take the shot. Falls out, but her rebound attempt is good, and again the umpire finds a penalty the Wodonga way. So she'll have another shot and makes no mistake this time. So Wodonga moved to 24, trailing the Tigers 32 late in the second quarter here.
Schroeder, great ball into Howe. Quick goal from the Tigers, back out to 9. Zoe Lawson in centre, gives off to Nation. A better centre drive from her there, but gives off to her opposition wing attack in Schroeder, and Hillier just waits that extra second with Schroeder coming through the centre, hoping that that was a play on advantage pass, but it's come back for that extra second. Hillier will wait Mathy to stand out of play and give off to McRae. She steps through, and great goal there from the Tigers. 34 plays 24 here on the McRae Motors scoreboard. Not too long left in this game. Halftime is called. The lead, 10 goals to the Tigers, 34 plays 24. This is O&M Live Netball, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onwards, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between. Manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Welcome back to O&M Live Netball. Thanks to McRae Motors, it's half-time here at Martin Park. Tigers with the 10-goal advantage as the away team 34 plays 24. Bulldogs really stayed with them in that first quarter, but just couldn't in that second quarter. And I think Brigitte Singy and Neve Thorne just stepped it up a little bit, as did the attackers for the Tigers. Lily Howe's been really steady in goal shooter, and we can see youngster Alice Carroll coming into the wing attack position. So Coach Sky Hillier giving one of the youngsters on the bench a go, and we've seen Alice Carroll take the court before in A grade, so great opportunity for her to get another bit of experience.
Yeah, it is really exciting, and yeah, you're right. I think the defenders for Albury just started to really sort of get on top, and I think some key misses probably from the Wodonga shooters and the other girls, the Albury defenders able to pull in those rebounds made a difference. But we see some changes for Wodonga too. So Asher Jones coming to keeper, and young Lily McKimmie, who had a great game, has come into the goal defence positions. Leisha Cole's gone back to wing defence, and Ellie Ainsworth to centre. So some changes there. So it'd be great to see whether these have an impact or not.
The teams both having a bit of a laugh there to start this third quarter. Thorne in goal defence is out of play high in the attacking third. Great high ball from Nation to French, but too short. Tap ball to Mathy in the contact instead. So Singy to Fisher, gives off to Thorne, off balance, but gives off the ball to Hillier. Back to Fisher, to McRae, really using that reset well to their advantage. Alice Carroll, her first touch of the game, and a great pass onto the baseline to Hillier. Tigers with the quick first goal here of this third quarter, thanks to McRae Motors. The centre pass, though, a little bit too much on it from McRae to Carroll. Asher Jones in goalkeeper, giving off the long ball to Coyle, to Mathy, high ball to Ainsworth, finding the space on circle edge, but giving off the drive there to Mathy, who was heavily covered by Thorne. Steps up for the throw-in. And there is a not addressing the line properly. That hurts. That is one as a coach that's really, really frustrating. Thorne comes through, and that's 3 long balls and a high ball into Lil. Clever there by Howe. Yeah, taps it back to herself into the space, and a goal from Howe. So 3 long balls end to end for the Tigers, takes them out to 12. 36 plays 24 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard. An intercept from Alice Carroll. Clever from her too, just to tap it to herself, and well done from McRae. Found the body of Nation, kept the drive going into space. Hillier steps into McKimmie, who's not giving her any space. McRae finds Howe, and the quick 1-2 between them. Jump from McKimmie is good, but the tap in as well doesn't quite come off. And throw in lucky for Jones there. McKimmie to Coyle to Ainsworth. Double play from those two.
And Mathy takes the shot for Wodonga, and a beautiful goal. So nice to see Wodonga posting another goal. So they move to 25, trailing Albury 36. Here's Carroll off the line. Finds Hillier. She goes to McRae in the pocket. over the top to Howe, and that's where I think Asher Jones, they just need to be careful about getting caught in front. Probably need to set themselves either just in behind or off to the side of Howe there and be able to come in at that ball.
The sun has just really come out. It's
Hasn't it just?
glistening. It's beautiful. As McKimmie gives off to Coyle, transitioning well are the Bulldogs. Mathy gives off to Ainsworth in that centre. Back to Mathy. Hands over pressure from Singy. Isn't enough for that longer range shot from Mathy.
So another Corryong local on Hillier here. It seems to be the pattern. So Lily McKimmie travelling from Corryong to train and play every week. So a phenomenal effort from her.
Smart play from Hillier there. Just saw both defenders heads down, eyes down, and getting the front advantage there.
And in our other games, Roy, we've got a game in our hand. Myrtleford with a 1-goal advantage over Wangaratta. At the moment, 22 plays 21. Lavington have snuck out to a 5-goal lead over Raiders, 31 plays 26. And Yarra with a strong lead over Wangaratta Rovers, 45-24. So a couple of close ones happening around the grounds as Wodonga Nation finds French over the top, a strong take, and she pops a little one to Cassie Mathy, who makes no mistakes. So Wodonga trying to stay in touch here, just can't get a break off Albury. And great release from Hillier to Carol, but just off balance.
A little bit off balance, so not enough on there, but I was really proud of the second phase play there because she had the front space on that circle, and McKimmie coming through strongly in goal defence. Gives off to Coyle. French coming out at the top of the circle strong. Isn't used. Nation and Fisher.
Oh, and Nation left. French left home alone. Well spotted and ball over the top, but she misses, and they're killers as Albury rebound that and look to go forward. Singy strong to Gabe McRae. She finds Fisher out wide and give and go back to McRae through the middle of the court. To Thorne, into Carol in the pocket, but she's...
Court's not wide enough.
Flirting with the sideline a little bit too much there, and it'll be a turnover Wodonga's way. So McKimmie with the ball, she goes to Coyle, but a little bit much on it, but well watched by Ainsworth, and I'm not sure how that wasn't a contact call, but anyway, we'll leave that up to the umpire. McRae with the ball on the sideline, goes to Fisher, to Carol.
And that half a second wait from McRae. How great one pass there from her. McKimmie making it hard for Hillier. Has to juggle that ball between her legs. And the reset play. Clever. The balk there on the shot from Hillier. Takes them out to 12 here. 39 plays 27.
Oh, and great release from Mathy to Nation, and then finding French home alone. And that's frustrating when the umpire takes that back and doesn't call the advantage. But French with the ball, and she'll get another shot.
Thorne
contacts.
Going for the rejection, but knew she was a little bit too close. A little giggle with Singy behind her. And French is a little bit rattled. Short shot from her, and Tigers get us underway again. Carol coming through, and McKimmie. Beautiful vision from her. I'd love to see Alice Carroll bring the ball up. She's really catching the ball low and leaving it there. So like Schroeder was doing, bring it up nice and high so that it's ready for that high ball release. As McRae, great defence from the Bulldogs, forces McRae to look backwards. But great ball.
Just misses that.
And Hillier just on the baseline all alone. But McKimmie, great read there, doing all she can to try and dint this lead that the Tigers do have. Asher Jones stepping up on Hillier. Carol, clever from her, putting the ball into space. Hillier opts for the pass to Howe, holding that front position. Great goal. They're out to 40. 40 plays 27 here on the Cavalier Homes scoreboard. Third quarter action thanks to McRae Motors. Hillier, quick release to Carol deep into
that space.
The pocket. Using the arch there to come forward and sweep into that front space as Hillier, and probably her first miss of the game. Coyle
nice drive
coming
by Coyle.
through.
Carol just getting hands over that. Coyle probably needed to just stand tall before she delivered that. So Aubrey with the turnover as Hillier finds Howe. She refeeds. It's going to take the long shot and sinks it beautifully. So
Ainsworth steps up to the centre. Wodonga really needing to look to stay in touch here. Mathy, high ball from Nation. into French, and it trickles in back to 13. 41 plays 28 here. McRae to Carroll. Clever from Hillier there, just using the smarts to get the space. And how, again,
good effort by Jones, and she's forced the ball over the back line. So she finds McKimmie. Great release there to Ainsworth. Hillier with the tips forces the turnover, so just not quite enough on it. So Albury looks to go forward again. Carroll with the ball.
Well done from Coyle, having to get Carroll to really rethink where that pass was going to go. And Hillier, front space, makes it look like she's shooting, and instead the ball goes into Howe. Beautiful shooting from Lily Howe.
And I think Alicia Coyle is a gymnastics coach. I was there during the week with one of my daughters, and her photo was on the wall amongst the various coaches at Flyaway there. So there you go, her and her sister.
Oh,
so
she can teach me how to do a front flip. I can cartwheel.
So it's obviously something that she does in her spare time.
Maybe she could give Kylie Leslie a few tips about cartwheeling.
She might be able to. I heard Kylie doesn't mind a cartwheel or two on Mad Monday.
Clever from Hillier into Howe. And a great goal there from the Tigers. They're out to a 14-goal buffer here. 43 plays 29 on the Cavalier Homes scoreboard. Well into the second half of this third quarter. Ainsworth in centre. Oh, great feed there from Ainsworth to French, just over the hands of Singy, and a better goal there from the Bulldogs, one of their quicker goals of this third quarter.
So McRae off to Hillier, but the umpire has found, I think it was a breaking call, so Fisher will take the ball for the Tigers, finds McRae, they work to circle edge, and Hillier pops forward, so all a little bit too easy in that transition there, and makes no mistake.
Kimmy there. A great 3 feet pressure. Mayfield using the half roll set up on the circle to French. Ainsworth to French. She looks for the pass. Instead is forced to shoot. Transition play, Thorne to McRae. Back to Thorne. Well done from Carroll there, recognising she'd gone a little bit early, cleared out, gave the space.
Well covered by Coyle though, wasn't she? That pace of her was able to cover that drive, and it's a great contest watching those two go with each other. Hillier steps in, hands over by McKimmie, not able to stop the shot going in. So Albury continue to move that margin out as McRae takes the ball, finds Hillier, and McRae double plays to the pocket and finds, Howe over the back. She cops a little knock, but lucky there's not much of Asher Jones, and she's able to steady and put the shot away. And
interesting that the Tigers are sitting outside of that 5, 2 games behind, but they've had a couple of really narrow losses. And Coach Sky Hillier, since they've been able to get their core 7 on the court, she's opted to really try not to make too many changes. Obviously, the change from Alice Carroll coming in, but you can really see those connections starting to really form for this group of 7 on court.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the challenge with Albury is probably the lack of depth. They've certainly got some really talented youngsters they can bring up from their 17s, but the difference between when they have their full 7 available and when they're missing a couple is quite marked, whereas, when you look at some of the other sides, the depth on their bench is fairly strong. So I think that's the challenge for Albury, that if they've got 1 or 2 players away, it can be make quite a difference to the margin, which is a real challenge for them. But that that will come.
One of those cyclic things, isn't it? It happens to every club at some stage.
It does.
Changing of the guard with Jones in goalkeeper for the Bulldogs to McKimmie. Both defenders have really rallied hard for the Bulldogs since coming on at half-time.
Yeah, absolutely.
McKimmie gives off to Coyle, and really liking the contest between her and Alice Carroll in wing attack and wing defence, and the timing of Nation, Coyle and Ainsworth just having to go back again, but Ainsworth presenting at the top, and a double play between her and Mayfield was on, but the pass went to Nation instead, who steps up to set the penalty.
Oh, and I could see where she was going with that, but it just wasn't on. So Albury with the ball again. Some great transition from Singh to Thorne and
well
McKimmie.
Done from McKimmie coming
she
through.
Read that like a book, and
Hillier was standing still for Thorne's pass there. McRae, strong pull in. The obstruction call coming first. Alice Carroll really having to do the hard work to get rid of Coyle. And instead it's a contact call. McRae to Hillier, back to McRae. High ball into Howe. Well done from McKimmie to stay in play, but Howe on song. 48 the lead to the Tigers, leading the Bulldogs a 30 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard. Mathy with the shot, a longer shot from her and a beautiful shot from her. Takes them to 31. McRae to Carroll. To McRae.
And McRae just double playing off that centre a little bit too easy. Like to see Ainsworth step up and just try and deny that drive, if it's just for an extra second, and force them to look for someone else on that second phase. As Wodonga through Ainsworth take the centre, and Fisher trying to get a tip to that, but Mathy with the ball outside the circle finds Ainsworth off the top, and she finds French out the back, and she'll make no mistake there. So Wodonga moved to 31, trailing Albury Tigers 49 here. We're deep into the third quarter. Tigers with the ball, and
Ainsworth coming through. Disappointing. I think probably the positioning of the umpire then
and
probably
Asher
didn't
Jones,
go in.
Beautiful intercept there by Jones.
Maybe that was one of those karma calls there.
It might have been too.
Jones is just in the right spot, but Nation to French
and
to Mathy. Great connection there from the Bulldogs attacking end.
Nice timing there by Mathy on the pop forward. Finished with a high five, and so they should. So Wodonga with a late goal. Nation hard off the line, finds Mathy. No option. She has to go back to McKimmie, and
McRae
just misread that. So Albury Tigers with a chance to strike back through Fisher. Long to McRae, to Carroll. Pop it over to Howe.
Great goal from Lily Howe. Takes the Tigers to 50, playing 32 here in the ball. Just a little bit too much on it on the sideline. Not long to go in this third quarter. Coyle in wing defence can't go in that circle, and she's offside, so the Tigers will have the pass in the circle edge. Hillier, quick pass from her. Contact call.
Knows there's not long to go. She's wanting to get it in there quickly.
Goal from Hillier. Takes them to 51. As three-quarter time is called, the Tigers with a hefty lead here, leading the Bulldogs. This is O&M Live Netball, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onward, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between. Manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Welcome back to O&M Live Netball. Wodonga Bulldogs playing host to the Tigers. The Tigers, though, with the 18-goal lead here. 51 plays, 33 players just taking the court for the fourth and final quarter. The Tigers really marching ahead in that third quarter. A few changes for the Bulldogs in their attacking end. Nation and Ainsworth swapping between wing attack and centre. No changes in the circle at either end for the Bulldogs, and Claudia Hocking for the Tigers coming on in goal attack, swinging Sky Hillier out into wing attack as Mathy, her first shot for this final quarter, takes the Bulldogs up to 34. McRae in centre giving off to Hillier, to Fisher, back to McRae, to Hillier. A little bit of a change in the circle and Hocking coming through, but the ball a little bit too much on that. Coyle coming through, and the contact from Hillier catches Coyle mid-flight. The ball will be brought back for the penalty. Coyle in wing defence gives off to Nation. Ainsworth, long ball to French. Nation, finding the space on the baseline, and it was the advantage call. French taking her own rebound, netting a goal for the Bulldogs. So that brings them to 35. 51 plays 35 here. Nation, centre pass to Ainsworth, back to Nation, to French coming out of the circle. Mathy holding strong, asking for the ball out in front. And a longer shot from her, can't quite nail it. And French with the rebound directly under the post. And another rebound from her. And the goal is good. So they go out to 36. I think the scorers might have missed a goal there. They've taken the first 3 goals of this fourth quarter. McRae fading drive there. Hillier in wing attack. Howe coming forward and Hocking holding as well. So a new combination in there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And even Hillier out at wing attack isn't something we see all the time. And those big feet of hers, just a little bit too much on that baseline. Jones to McKimmie. Back to Jones, to Nation, telling her players to head down. Coyle, hands over pressure from Hillier. Hocking with the hands over pressure. Nation, great take from her. Mathy, well done from Cassie Mathy, and a great attacking play there from the Bulldogs. The first 4 goals of this final quarter have gone in the Bulldogs' favour. Breaking call, no, contact call first. McKimmie in goal defence, taking the penalty. Nation release. It's quickly to French, singing with a hand on the ball. Makes it a Bulldogs throw-in. Mathy giving off to Nation. Baseline drive opens the space up for French behind her, and a goal from her. In the other games, it is even. Myrtleford with the 3-goal lead at 3-quarter time. McKimmie coming through in goal defence with a touch. Bulldogs have really started.
A couple of the youngsters on each other. It's good to see, isn't it?
This fourth quarter with a lot more intensity than perhaps we saw late in that third quarter. But Myrtleford with the 3-goal lead against Wangaratta. Lavington are up by 4, and Yarrawonga have continued to push out their lead against the Rovers. So we'll keep you updated on those scores towards the back end of this game. Hillier just resetting the penalty. Gives off to McRae. Howe opting for the high ball, but instead Coyle disrupting the run of the Tigers. Deep breath there from Hillier. Howe calling for the high ball, pinpoint accuracy, and another goal there from Lily Howe, tipped in. So takes the doggies out to the Tigers, out to 52, and our scoreboard person has missed that one as well. So we might keep an eye on the live scores. McRae out of play. Nation draws the contact from Thorne with the balked ball. Mathy, long shot from her, too much. French did well. It's more of a pass. A longer shot from her, just not enough on it. And Singy gaining possession. McRae looking for the reset. Thorne coming through to McRae.
And Hocking just a bit flat, just needing to get in front of McKimmie here.
And Lily McKimmie with the upper hand at the moment.
And Hocking wouldn't have played much A-grade netball, I don't think. So this will be, a new challenge for her.
A great baseline drive from Hocking.
A very accomplished basketballer.
Hillier, her first shot of the game, can't quite get in, and both Bulldogs defenders had a hand on it. And the throwing goes in the way of the Tigers. Hocking gives off to McRae, stepping on.
Oh, smart release.
Lily Howe, she's been on song for the Tigers today as they move out to 53, plays 38 here.
And a breaking call by Hillier. Too quick off the line. So McKimmie to Nation, back to McKimmie. She goes to Coyle, strong drive through to Ainsworth. She looks for a give and go, but Fisher with a great hand can't quite control the ball. And Matey with a strong drive pulls it in and then is able to get it over the back to French, who's left home all alone. So Wodonga respond and move to 38.
39.
39.
Yeah, we've missed a couple of both ends of the scoreboard people. French. Great shot from Lisa French, takes them up to 40. And Gabe McRae in centre for the Tigers. Hocking, better centre pass from her. Receives. Hillier to Fisher. Hocking to Hillier to Howe. All the H's in the circle for the Tigers. Say that 5 times fast. As McRae gives off to Howe. Ashes Jones has a stab at it, but takes the person instead. Howe, beautiful shot. Lily Howe has to be a contender for player of the day today, Tam.
She's been really strong, and I think Wodonga have really struggled to shut her down or to find someone been able to stop that ball to her.
As we have scores haven't updated at the moment, and we know the scoreboard here isn't quite right. So Tigers on the attack. Great pass there from McRae to Hillier, and Hillier urging Hocking back into the spaces. The defender in McKimmie isn't there.
Don't think she got any closer, but I think she was wrong-footed. I think she was in a more comfortable position to put that one up as Tigers move to
54. Oh, there we go. 55 plays 40. I think it's been corrected now. So Howe, shot from her is good. Bulldogs will need to respond with a couple of quick goals. They've started this last quarter really well. Great centre pass there from Ainsworth. Nation to Mathy. Back to Nation. Back to and Singy coming around as well. She's been really really consistent.
She has. I think she's had a really strong game as well.
It's made it hard for those shooters, and Heidi Fisher in wing defence has been good, and Gabe McRae, she's having a really great season for the Tigers as that linking player in centre.
So Hillier with the ball goes across to McRae. They look in and opt to go over to Howe, who swings it out, and front position is Hocking, and she puts it up for the Tigers. So they extend the lead, 57, plays 41.
Wangaratta A-grade. Back up by 1, 32 plays 31 against Myrtleford.
It is a tussle and a half in that game there. And
Lavington still with the 4-goal buffer. And Yarrawonga keep pushing in front. So Lisa French with the layup for the Bulldogs.
It is a bit of a classic Lisa French move, isn't it? She loves that.
And always good when they come off. Hocking and McKimmie. Contact first, just on the line. the high ball. Well done to Asher Jones, front position.
Yeah, she was front.
And took the contact. There wasn't just enough height on it. So McKimmie and Jones teaming up to bring this ball through. Transition, Coyle to McKimmie, to Nation, to Coyle.
And McKimmie will back up after this and go on the court in the 17s game and shoot. So she'll swing to the other end of the game at the court and put some goals up. Yeah,
to be
it's
really dominant at both ends.
It's incredible. There's a number of young players across. Eliza Mooney's another one for Wodonga Raiders. Kalisha Pell for Yarrawonga. You know, it's amazing these young players who can play both ends of the court, and it's just phenomenal to watch and great athletes.
Great rebound from Lisa French as well there. The Bulldogs rallying. They've got it back to 14, 57 plays 43 here.
Great take by Hocking. Strong hands. Goes over to McRae. Looking for someone to come forward. Elects to go over.
McKimmie again with the touch on the ball.
She's pleading, saying I didn't contact, but it wasn't a contact call. It's been a throw-in to Albury. So Hillier will take it outside the circle.
Hillier and the Tigers will be enjoying celebrating this win tonight with the ball at the Albury.
And Jones tries to come through, but
Tigers Sports Ground. Hocking stepping up for the shot.
Yeah, their ball tonight, so I'm sure they'll enjoy this win.
Nation in centre. Oh, Fisher goes for the ball deep in the pocket. And Singy goes for the ball.
Great give and go by Ainsworth to the top of the circle there, and good timing by Mathy to drive in and
it's the damage that Bulldogs can do too with that quick release and the speed through. I think they're certainly such a youthful team if they can keep this lineup together and really get these combinations going. Like they did in the first quarter, they can contest against anyone.
I think their timing today has been a lot better in their transitions. Use of their space.
Using the post there was Asher Jones to juggle that ball into possession, so it's a pass only. Hillier with the ball. McKimmie coming through. The obstruction call. Hocking steps in the penalty and a goal from her takes the Tigers out to 59. Oh, Nation wanting to get underway, but a little bit too quickly. Hard to believe that next weekend the King's birthday, which sounds a little bit odd to say, will bring us to halfway of the season, will be round 9. We will be broadcasting Albury taking on Lavington, which I suspect to be a really fire-cracking game. And the Raiders and Myrtleford, to mind, will be the other match of the round. I think Yarrawonga will be far too strong for Wodonga, and North Albury will take on Rovers, which for North Albury is a really, really good opportunity for them to post a really comprehensive win probably and keep in touch with the Tigers that are just in front of them. But for Rovers, it could be an opportunity for them to take a win and to see if they can just really edge out and take the 4 quarters really positively.
Particularly, aside with that Emily Brown, and I know we talk about Em a lot, but, she just has such an X factor, and I think, there are sides that step onto the court against her and can be beaten before the whistle even goes, and just because of her dominance and her her position on the court. So it is a chance for them, but I think we go into next week, and other than Yarrawonga sitting on the top, I think the top 5 is fairly set. Albury obviously is still within touch, but I think they've got a bit of work to do. But as for where the teams are going to fall, that is anyone's guess. So I think we've got a really interesting and exciting back half of the season, that's for sure.
How another goal from her, and Hocking starting to find a little bit of connection in there. Hillier coming through, Coyle getting the tip on the centre pass. Thorne to McRae to Hocking. Cross-court, cross-circle ball, and Hillier finding the space out in front of Lily Howe, taking the Tigers out to 63, and plays 45 here.
Still a 1-goal lead to Wangaratta in that game there, so not long to go there, I'm sure.
And Ainsworth in wing attack. Oh, a little bit too much on it, and it just
and
goes
Raiders
over the
with a
baseline.
1-goal lead over Lavington in that game.
A little bit of a
change. They've come home with a wet sail, and obviously Yarrawonga posting a big winning margin over Rovers. So not sure of final scores, but
last 2 minutes here, and I think we're delayed by about 30 seconds a minute after that ball being wet at half time. So,
but we also have longer breaks. So
yeah, it could be interesting to know how much longer those games have.
So we could have
Hockey.
seen
The final scores.
Yeah, they could be final scores. We shall wait and with bated breath and see. Possibly a 1-goal win to Raiders and a 1-goal win to Wang.
Oh, and Asher Jones tries her hardest, but Lily Howe, nice and strong in the circle and a great goal from her. 20 goals, the lead to the Tigers here. 65 place, 45 nation to Ainsworth. Getting rid of Fisher, who goes for the second phase ball, gets her hand on it, and is the contact call.
And that would
first.
be Emily Stewart's first game against her old club too today. Raiders up against Lavington. So if that score is in fact correct, that would be, I guess a nice win for her if they have got over the line.
And we'll give
Thorn.
them two on the trot.
Yeah.
Singy getting Fisher to come forward. McRae coming through as well. Long ball to Hocking to Hillier.
The other thing I think we've seen Thorn, since our last time we've seen Albury play, is Thorn develop more into that goal defence role. I think she's traditionally been a goalkeeper, but today I felt like she's, looked more confident and more comfortable in that goal defence role in terms of that transition down the court. So that's great to see for Albury too, that she's starting to apply a bit more drive through the mid-court as Howe takes the ball for Tigers and puts another one on the scoreboard. So they move to 66. And that's the hooter.
Siren for full time. The Tigers with the 21 goal win here over the Bulldogs. Big thank you, as always, to all of our sponsors. Our major sponsor, McRae Motors, Cavalier Homes, 777 Automotive, Martin's Travel Group, Albury, and the X-Ray Group. Tamara Matthews will go and get our player of the game. At the moment, the live scores haven't changed. Wangaratta a 1-goal lead over Myrtleford, 35 place 34. Raiders, 45 place 44, the lead over Lavington. As Lily Howe, our player of the day for the Panthers, is coming up. And Lily Howe, congratulations, you are our player of the day. Great job out there today.
Thank you.
Really nice, and I think maybe 3 misses for the whole day.
I think maybe a few more.
Didn't look
feel like
it.
many.
And obviously last week was a really disappointing loss. What was Sky's instructions going into today?
I think just forget about last week. Go in fresh. We know our weaknesses, we know our strengths. So yeah, we just really pulled through, thank God. But it was a tough loss. But
We're almost halfway through the season. Are you starting to feel like teams are now starting to almost target you, like really set themselves to play the strong defender on you and really try and shut you down?
Honestly, I don't really pay attention to that.
That's great.
Honestly, until Saturday morning comes, I don't really think about it.
I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And obviously your combination with Sky Hilly is really building, and really nice to get Claudia Hocking out there on the court today as well. Yeah, really well, and all those youngsters. And the defensive end, we as well commented. We thought Neve Thorne's really coming into her own, and Brigida Singing, goalkeeper as well.
Really good.
And so looking to next week, Lavington, we will be broadcasting again. What do you think will be the difference for you guys from today to going into next week?
I think we just have to adjust. Every week we come in different team, take the strengths out of the game, put them towards the next game. Yeah, so I think just being really strong in the goals, getting it to the goals in the mid-court. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just really holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Lily, our player of the day.
Yeah, well done, Lil. Great game.
Thanks. Tam Matthews, great win there from the Tigers girls. Really sets them and their percentage up. I thought, the defenders in Thorne and Singy were also in the best. And I thought Lily McKimmie coming on at halftime was great for the Bulldogs, And I thought Cassie Mathy and Lisa French really tried hard for the Bulldogs as well.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting thing, I know the start of the season, Bianca was, trying lots of different combinations in that attacking end, and today was a lot more settled, and she seemed to leave it. So I think they've probably settled on that French Cassie Mathy combination, and I think you can see the difference that has made. It's allowed them to settle into their positions and play a lot more consistently, and I felt that today.
Excellent. Well, Tam Matthews, thanks. You won't be with me next week. I don't know who I'll be with yet.
No,
but,
I'll be in Darwin. I hate to say.
hopefully the weather's just as sunny here next weekend, but enjoy. This has been O&M Live Netball, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where students come first. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a crumbed barramundi fillet served with chips and dill hollandaise from just $22. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
Recognise this face? I've been in more beer ads than anyone else, and all I'm told to do is smile, sip and laugh a bit.
0.0% alcohol.
This changes everything.
I can swim! I can upgrade heavy machinery! I can actually drive! Onwards, beer drinkers!
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
R08 Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.